Reading about medieval history, the massive ruling empires often feel like the final boss in a video game. On a map, they look powerful, wealthy, and unbeatable. But looking closer at the edges, that invincibility was often an illusion. This chart breaks down how two massive powers engineered governments. The Delhi Sultanate used the Ikta system, handing nobles vast territories to collect taxes and maintain armies. On the right, Akbar's Mughal Empire used the Mansabdari system, assigning strict military quotas based on individual ranks. These empires functioned as incredibly wealthy global trade hubs, relying on sophisticated credit to move vast fortunes. But beneath the surface, the everyday farmers funding this prosperity were crushed by heavy taxes, sudden famines, and displacement. The golden palaces required squeezing communities at the bottom. Eventually, you can only squeeze people so far. When an empire pushes a population to the breaking point, local communities stop paying and start fighting back. Rather than trying to match a massive imperial army soldier for soldier, they use their own unique local advantages to shatter the illusion of imperial control. We can see this dynamic play out in the rugged Aravalli hills of Rajasthan. This dry, unforgiving landscape became the staging ground for Maharana Pratap, a local ruler who entirely refused to bow to the encroaching Mughal Empire. This map shows how he resisted. After Haldigati, Pratap abandoned open battles for guerrilla warfare, relentless hit-and-run attacks to exhaust the invading army. By allying with the local Bhil people, their intimate terrain knowledge allowed his fighters to strike and vanish quickly. When they weren't attacking, they built their defenses directly into the cliffs themselves. These massive stone fortresses became an extension of the rock, allowing smaller defending forces to outlast prolonged sieges. A colossal imperial army means very little if it can't navigate the landscape. By transforming their inhospitable geography into an active, lethal weapon, a smaller defending force effectively neutralized the enemy's massive size. Over in the east, the Ahoms faced a similar situation along the banks of the massive Brahmaputra River. At the Battle of Saragat, they were staring down 30,000 invading Mughal troops, facing a severe numerical mismatch. This map reveals their solution. Commander Borfukan used dense forests to funnel invading troops into the water, trapping them in the Brahmaputra's violent currents. To field enough fighters for this trap, the Ahoms relied on a unique administrative engine, the pike system. Instead of paying a permanent standing army, the state granted farming land to its citizens. In exchange, those citizens provided a rotating cycle of military and civil service. This created a massive, highly motivated militia overnight, without the crippling financial cost of a professional army. Superior administrative systems, when combined with a deep understanding of the local environment, can dismantle an empire's biggest advantage. Resistance isn't always born from geographic advantages. Often, the strongest shield is forged from pure belief and the moral mandate to protect others. This timeline starts in the 15th century with Guru Nanak's message of equality. Rising Mughal intolerance led to the martyrdoms of Guru Arjan and Guru Tegh Bahadur for defending religious freedom. By 1699, this intense pressure led Guru Gobind Singh to establish the Khalsa. The Khalsa was a martial brotherhood. They swore an oath against injustice, committing to protect the innocent and actively fight back against tyranny. When an empire tries to crush a peaceful movement, the oppression often backfires. In this case, it created a community deeply dedicated to standing up against injustice for generations. While emperors rose and fell and borders shifted, everyday community life had to find a way to survive the constant warfare. Medieval temples operated as the economic heart of their communities. These massive stone towers provided the stability needed to survive political turmoil by managing the secular needs of everyone living around them. This diagram outlines their actual day-to-day role. Temples served as the primary physical hubs for local markets. They acted as banks, offering credit to the community. They funded vital infrastructure like water tanks, and they directly supported local artisans and musicians. This woven fabric provides a window into how Indian society outlasted the empires that claimed to own it. Because the community's core institutions, like the market and the bank, were rooted in these local spaces, the people could endure political upheaval. This resilience allowed Indian society to absorb the shock of constant invasions, blending outside influences into new styles of art and architecture that lasted long after the empires fell. Local communities outlasted the empires that claimed to own the map. While the political borders shifted with every war, the social fabric beneath them remained, preserved by people who protected their neighbors and their shared way of life.